Hello, cruisers. This is Meg from Bite Size Cruises, and today I would like to talk to you about a millennial's thoughts on cruising. As a 32-year-old whose main ambition is to give my dog the life she deserves, I would say I am a tried and true millennial. I have eaten my fair share of avocado toast. I believe in the powers of therapy, and I still have one or two pairs of skinny jeans floating around in my closet. So when John from our team suggested our first group trip be a cruise, I was a little hesitant. For me, cruising was always synonymous with 65 and over. It conjured up images of elderly couples eating dinner at assigned seats and playing bingo in the main ballroom. It just never really appealed to me. As someone who craves a bit more adventure on her vacations, I tend to like a mix of exploring new places, trying new things, especially new foods, and then a little bit of relaxation, ideally on a very nice beach. With that said, I'm also the girl who doesn't say no to a group trip. So I Googled a bit on what to bring, packed my bags, and was ready to set sail. My initial reaction once on board was amazement. I was blown away. Just the amount of things and amenities on this ship in the middle of the ocean was kind of mind-boggling. Plus, it was Christmas, so there were just a bunch of Christmas trees and decorations everywhere. There was a giant gingerbread village. Absolutely magical. Highly recommend. My first trip was on the Norwegian Escape, and I just have to say 10 out of 10. The staff was incredible. The ship was immaculate. Just such a great vacation and definitely a great first experience into cruising. It was a big ship without being completely overwhelming. There was a ton to do. Just absolutely loved it. And the thing that really blew my mind was those three things that I said that I like the most when traveling in general is the exploring new places, trying new things, especially foods, and then the mixture of a little bit of relaxation. It caught me really off guard that I experienced all of that in the first part of my trip. Our first stop was Cozumel, Mexico, and I signed up to do an excursion where I got on a catamaran and we went out to this, middle of the ocean to the second largest coral reef in the world. I had no idea that was even in Mexico. It's very cool. And I got to snorkel right off the back of the boat. I saw a barracuda and a stingray, plus thousands of other super cool, colorful fish. And then I got back on the catamaran and we went to this secluded island where in the ocean they had set up this inflatable obstacle course. I got to climb up things and jump off them, slide down them. It was just absolutely nuts. And then you went to the beach and it's just this white sand picturesque beach. And I got to lay in a hammock with my drink in hand, just taking in the view. All on one excursion. I think it was like $100. Like it wasn't a crazy amount of money or anything. And then I got back on the catamaran where they were also serving drinks and we went back to the ship. Once back on the ship, I showered and changed and went to this incredible French restaurant. I had escargot and duck. I drank incredible wine and champagne, all before going to see a Broadway level show called Choir of Man. Side note, if you ever get a chance to see that show, 100% go. It's so cool. They have like working taps and they're delivering beer out to the audience while singing all these great songs that so it's like super extra catchy and like brings you in, and there's a great story tying them all together. Anyway, sorry, that's like another video, but just a side point, go see that show if you get a chance. But what was so cool was I got to do all of those things that I would want to do in a city or on a vacation somewhere. And then once back on the ship, I went to bed, and while I was sleeping, I was transported on this floating resort to the next place. And I got to do all different cool things and all new cool things in Jamaica and then the Bahamas. So it's like, it was just really mind blowing to me on what to expect. My fiance, who was with me on the trip, had been on one cruise before, went back when he was a really young kid. He went to Alaska and he said the same thing. They ate all their meals at the same table with the same other people, and everything was very scheduled. So we weren't really sure what to expect. And he was also blown away. Like cruising has just changed so much. And I don't know that they've done the best way or best version of marketing to show how different it is now. It really is kind of like a choose your own adventure when you're on there and what things you want to do. And with that, it's, very much you can do it on your budget. If you are someone who, you love to travel, but you try and do it on a little bit amount of money, you can still find a cruise that you're going to get to do those things on. And even if you can't afford to eat at any of the specialty dining or anything, like don't sleep on the buffet. It's way better than a normal buffet that you would think of. Especially the Indian food is amazing. Lots of great stuff. And they have a lot of other really great food too. Royal Caribbean, which I went on my first Royal Caribbean cruise, a couple cruises after that Norwegian one. And I was blown away all over again for like with that, just absolutely stuck me. They have like a local fresh where you can just go and grab tacos and things like that anytime you want, also for free, completely included. And not to mention, for example, like when I was on Oasis, that ship, there's rock climbing, zip lining, ice skating, an entire boardwalk of just things to do before you even get off the ship or go explore anywhere else. And with that whole budget friendly traveling that I was saying, you also don't have to do the excursions. Like I said, the one I went on was around $100. It was not that much money and it was incredibly cool. But at the same time, when I was in Jamaica or, when we went to Nassau in the Bahamas, we just got off and went to explore. You can go do your own thing, just how you would if you were visiting that city. Check out some local hole in the wall places or go see the big tourist attractions, whatever is kind of your speed, or go eat some local cuisine. You still get that whole off and traveling. And then if you can also decide when you're picking the cruise, if that's kind of the travel you like, there's cruises where you spend overnights in places. I'm really excited. My next cruise next month, I'm going to be doing an overnight in Orlando and Bermuda. I wasn't as excited about Orlando. I mean, I've been to Florida. I'm from the United States, but I've also never been to Epcot. And so by doing an overnight in Orlando, I can go to Epcot and drink around the world or try all of that out and not worry about when I need to be back on the ship. And then when we do our overnight in Bermuda, which is what I'm incredibly excited about because I love Bermuda, we're going to do a sunset rum cruise and then just go explore and have dinner and hang out in Bermuda. And then whatever time we get back to the ship, it's fine because you're not worried about a deadline of leaving. As to where on other ones, maybe you don't want to do any overnights. You just want to hit as many places as possible and you go spend a whole day in this other place. And then you get back on the ship and you go to another one. It's incredible. I also noticed for me, for some reason, cruises in my mind, I only ever thought of the Caribbean or going somewhere tropical, which is obviously amazing. But there's also so many options out there. Like, yes, you can go to Alaska and yes, you can go to the Caribbean, but you can also go to the Mediterranean or you can go to France or you can take a river cruise during Christmas time and go in Europe and stop at all the cool like European markets that are all decorated for Christmas. It's just, my eyes were really opened up. But anyway, I've digressed a little bit. Getting back to the point of those main points that I like to hit on a vacation with a cruise, I wanted to mention the food a little bit. So I know I mentioned it a tad bit earlier, and I won't dive too much into it because I could do multiple videos just on the food alone as someone who really loves to eat. But I tried bone marrow and beef Wellington for the first time on board cruise ships. I've had handmade incredible pasta, one of the best charcuterie boards I've ever seen. I've had an excellent fresh smoothie if you're someone who's trying to eat more healthy, and like awesome salads. But just all in all, the food is always top notch. There's always so much of it to choose from. I highly recommend it. And then kind of going the opposite, if you're not looking for a budget vacation, if you're looking to kind of ball out, you want to go for all of it, also cruises. It's literally a floating resort if you want to take advantage of it. If you get the chance to get a thermal pass on, one of the Norwegian ships or something like that, highly recommend it. One of the best decisions I ever made. Each day I would go and check out the thermal spa. I would use the saunas and the steam rooms, the Himalayan salt rooms, the heated whirlpool hot tub areas. And then I would lay out on the heated or warmed stone loungers and just read for a little bit, spend an hour or two in there and then go do the next adventure, which was incredible. Plus, the spa amenities on any of the cruise ships, which I mean, they're a little pricey, but so are spas. And if this is kind of you're looking for the 5-star resort type of vacation, we got a couples massage that was incredible. I've gotten pedicures. Someone on our team gets like hair keratin treatments every time they go on a cruise. You can get teeth whitening, literally any spa treatment that you think of. And some of like medical spa treatments, like if you're looking to lose a little weight, things like that, they have all of them on board. And it's just, to me, it's just the level of relaxation and the cool things you can do while like as if you were at a 5-star resort, only you're looking out at the ocean and you're floating and traveling. And then with the same thing there, also the levels of rooms that you can stay in. If you're trying to ball out and you're in a suite room, especially on like Royal Caribbean, if you've suddenly got like a royal genie, I mean, that's just someone who's going to do anything for you. You don't have to lift a finger the entire cruise, but also just staying in a suite is absolutely incredible. It's like staying at the nicest hotel you've ever thought of, like incredible. But also just your regular rooms. I've stayed in, an inside room where there's no balcony, no nothing, and it's still a great size room. They put the two twin size together if you're in there alone. So I had a king size bed to myself. I had my own bathroom. There's a vanity area, still plenty of room. Now it's incredibly dark when you turn off the lights because you're inside, but as long as you have some lights on, if you're trying to stay in there, you're great. And if you're ready for sleep, then the dark is wonderful. One of my favorite rooms I stayed in was a balcony room that was an aft facing balcony, which if you're not familiar with that is, it just means it's at the back of the ship. So it was overlooking the water and just incredible being out on my balcony where all you see is the wake of the ship and then the ocean, no like land anywhere around is such a cool thing and also kind of humbling. And then going to bed at night, you could just leave the door open and have the fresh air from the balcony coming in and from the ocean coming in because it's the back of the ship so nobody can see and you're not looking at anybody. Anyway, highly recommend. Some other things that millennials or friends or just some research I've done that people kind of are hesitant when it comes to cruise ships. One of the big things is internet. And I will say the internet has made leaps and bounds on a cruise ship. It's pretty stable now. As someone who works primarily remotely, I'm able to do work on the cruise ship, which is great. And Royal Caribbean now has a deal with SpaceX Starlink satellite internet, which means pretty soon you're going to have high-speed, fast internet that's just as fast as at home on the cruise ship. Total game changer. Sign me up. I will just be on all the cruises possible. Thank you. And then the last thing that I kind of hear a lot about it is, is it a sustainable way to travel? That's something that's important to a lot of people I found, especially in my age group. They try to travel green, they try and have a lower carbon footprint. And I will say cruises definitely don't have the best reputation in that way, but they are making steps towards it. And they are making sustainable changes a lot with their fuel and just trying to lower their carbon footprint. There's still a long way to go before it's going to be like every cruise ship is super green. But if that's something that's important to you, there are cruises out there that are more green and possible to go on. And it's just, I just have to say, like, as a millennial who was super hesitant to hop on a cruise, I am what you would call a complete cruise convert. I think it's my favorite way to travel now. It's my favorite way to explore new places. And I mean, my ideal vacations, I want to climb up things, dive off things. I want to try it all. I want to see it all. Avid rock climber, hiker, camper, someone who likes to be out in nature. I never thought that I would love traveling on a boat this much, but it's something so cool about just being in the middle of the ocean on this ship. I will say the last thing that I was a little nervous about when it came to cruise ships was just being around a ton of people all the time. And it's not like that. I mean, some ships are definitely going to be more full, but you still can, make your own vacation, have your own space and your own time. So with that, if you think you are ready to try it, which I think every single person out there should try a cruise at least once, try that way of travel. I would like you to reach out to me, tell me what kind of trip you want, and I will help pick the best cruise for you if you would like. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. Please like and subscribe and let me know if you have any questions. All right, have a great day.